It's now been one complete year since the timber harvest, and while we do call this a pulpwood timber cut, I would also consider this an oak regeneration cut. What was left standing were the higher quality oaks, but we've also left some poplar, a couple of sugar maple, hickories, and white pine. So overall, I'm quite pleased with the results. Wild blackberry, pokeberry, fireweed were the most dominant plants that quickly emerged. And I can even see the seedlings coming out underneath these plants. Many of them birch, but we still have some cherry, poplar, and even finding the occasional oak. I'm also finding plants that I've never noticed before, never seen before, and requiring a plant ID to figure them out. For most Pennsylvania forests, the greatest challenge with this type of cut is controlling the invasives before they are out of control and they severely limit the regenerative growth. It seems like any time a canopy is removed in this area, multiple invasives take over if they're not controlled. So here's a quick recap of the work that was done before and during harvest. Herbicide treatment was done the summer before harvest, mainly to kill the fern and stiltgrass and the striped maple. Immediately after harvest, I sprayed again in the summer of 2022, primarily for the stiltgrass. So after 2 years of herbicide treatment and a pulpwood timber harvest, I was excited, but at the same time concerned to see what would be happening this summer. I'm quite surprised to see the rocky slope of this property boom with plants, which reached 5 to 7 feet this summer. Now this area was also the worst condition prior to timber harvest, which is why there are very little trees remaining. So I'm learning very quickly you need to remove a lot of trees in order to substantially increase new plants and seedlings. Now I plan to post another video soon showing different areas of harvest and the regeneration response in areas with light, moderate, and heavy tree removal. The difference is quite significant, and that's why I think it needs to be put in its own video. Well, anyway, back to the summer observations. There still remains some dense stiltgrass pockets, mainly in areas that I missed spraying last summer. I did spend some hours spraying clethodim, an herbicide that kills only grasses. Now this herbicide takes 4 to 6 weeks before I could tell a difference on the stiltgrass, but it did indeed kill the grass without killing the surrounding vegetation. I noticed as long as I can get new vegetation growing above the stiltgrass, that's all that it takes. What I didn't expect was the amount of mile-a-minute vine that appeared in spots. Now fortunately, it's only certain areas, and I think I can control it with both pre-emergent herbicide in early spring, followed up with a glyphosate treatment in the fall. Another observation was the tree of heaven seedlings. It seemed like thousands and thousands of seedlings emerged immediately after harvest last year. Now it was the same summer we had our highest population of lanternflies in the area. And I actually believe the lanternflies provided a valuable service, killing many of those seedlings, because I am not finding many seedlings that survived. The remaining oak trees had a bumper acorn crop this year too. I even took several buckets of acorns and dispersed them into areas that didn't have too many oak trees, hoping to see maybe some seedlings in the coming years. The white pine trees are loaded with white pine cones, so it was a well-timed harvest with lots of seed potential moving into the fall. I'm not finding much deer damage so far. We are in a high deer density area. I just feel this area is very open and doesn't offer much cover. I also planted several hundred trees and shrubs: white pine, Norway spruce, elderberry, red osier dogwood, and silky dogwood. Some wetland shrubs like willows and wild blueberry. Much to my surprise, most of them are still alive and actually doing well. So I think I can get one more planting in here next spring before this area gets too thick.